Good editing of family footage is about maintaining the narrative, the memories, and what people are trying to convey in those videos, so that when people are watching it in the future, it's not quite as janky and all over the place and has a clear narrative that is following. One of the main things I run into while helping people preserve their family videos is they never know what to keep and what to get rid of. In fact, they kind of just say, no one would want to watch this, or it's family history, I don't want to touch it. The problem is with that mindset is that the people whose memories these belong to are going to be around forever, and so the videos are going to be passed down to generations, and they're not going to know who these people in the videos are or what's going on. And so today I wanted to do a quick go over on making a rough cut to preserve narrative coherence. And by narrative, I mean that I'm arranging these clips so that they are more logical and easier for future generations to follow and understand what is happening in these clips. So I'm going to be using a video that is from one of my clients. I have her permission to use this video. I would never show clients footage without their permission. In this video, I'm going to be combining some clips that are in two different parts of the video, but are about the same thing, and that is people having fun in the backyard of my client's childhood home. And these clips are currently just in two different spots, but they could go together and create a more narrative coherence, which is what editing family videos is all about. Good editing of family footage is about maintaining the narrative, the memories, and what people are trying to convey in those videos. What can we do with it? How can we bring this into a more coherent narrative so that future generations can turn on this video, watch it, and fully understand what is happening and who these people are and where this is taking place. And that's what we're going to be doing right now with bringing these two clips that are in two different parts of the video together so that they make more sense. Now this is just a rough cut. A rough cut is where you bring in the footage you're going to be working with and you just kind of cut it together the way you want it. You're more concerned when you're making a rough cut to just get down the idea of what you're aiming for. It's not refined, it's not perfect. Think of it like you're writing the first draft of your memoirs, or you're drafting an email to someone. You don't try to worry about making a polished manuscript. What you're trying to do is capture your thoughts on paper. That's what making a rough cut is like when you're editing a video, is you just want to take all the stuff you have and put it together so that you can kind of see where you're going. So you want to first drag your video in, and this one, since we're going to be doing the pool party, well, fun in the backyard, I kind of like calling it the pool party. So this is at the beginning and kind of in the middle of the video. And so you're going to want to make sure that all of your clips, when you are cutting the video together, are pretty close to where they're going to be in the video. And so I brought these two clips together here, and now that the two clips are selected and I no longer need the rest of the footage, I can push all that to the side and just focus on this area here. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of watch it. One thing that's very important when you are editing family home videos is you want the raw footage.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
The raw footage is the closest to the original footage you can get. So if you take your family tapes to a place to get them converted to digital, you need to ask them to please give you the raw footage. Several people I've spoken to, they said that they took their family videos to a person to get them taken from VHS tapes to digital, and that person added music, and the only copy they got back was that copy with music. That makes it really hard to edit family videos. And a lot of people are like, well, it's edited. You have music slapped on it. Slapping music onto videos does help make it more watchable, and I am a huge supporter of put music on your videos, but it makes it hard to to go into those files and edit them in a way that is more coherent to future viewers of that footage. Because the music's in there, it's going to be far more obvious where the cuts are and how the footage has been rearranged, which completely defeats the point of editing. The point of editing footage is not just to make it more watchable. That is definitely one of the top reasons to edit footage, but one of the top reasons to edit footage is for clarity. And when you have music in the background, you have completely taken away the ability to add clarity to the footage that you currently have. Because when you make a cut or when you move portions like scenes or clips of your video to another area, that music is going to get disrupted and people are going to hear it, and it's going to basically, I won't really say ruin your edit, but it's going to make editing just that much harder. So I always tell people, if you're going to get your footage professionally made digital, make sure you get the original footage back. You can get both, one with music, one without, but I highly recommend getting back the footage that has not been tampered with by the people who converted it to digital in the first place. So that's what I try to get across to my clients. You always want to have the original footage. I cannot stress that enough.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
So that's what I'm working with right here is, thankfully my client has original footage. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to move some of these clips to emphasize, okay, this is Elaine and this is her brother, Timmy Craig. And I'm going to move his stuff over so that it just easily goes from talking about Elaine and her dancing to talking about Timmy Craig on stilts. So we're going to move that. And that's just to kind of bring everything together, because when I was editing this footage for my client, the home movies that are on the film that they're watching it on, and her dad's just sort of talking about what's going on as he's watching it. So we're just going to edit this in a way that it makes more narrative coherence to somebody who might click on this video or open up this video further down the line. Like, let's say maybe one of my clients' grandkids or great-grandkids clicks on this video. That way they're not confused by what they're seeing. And then we're going to move the section about the Shayners. So the Shayners are next door neighbors, and while they're not family members, they are in this video and they are prominently featured in this video. And so we're going to try and make sure that their section stays together and does not get split up. Because when we start talking about the Shayners, we're going to keep talking about the Shayners. So we're going to move that. And I'm going to move part of what he's saying.
2 doors down. Their father was a surgeon. They had come from Canada, and he had lost all his hair in the Canadian military in World War II. From 2 doors down. They had come from Canada. Their father was a surgeon, and he had lost all his hair in the Canadian military in World War II.
This is the one thing I really like about having voiceover with family home videos is that, one, it adds extra context to the video that I am editing for my client, but it also allows the person giving the history, who's giving the information, to just sort of ramble their thoughts onto the audio, and then I can just take that audio and I can rearrange it so that it, as I said, creates a narrative thought that is easy for the future viewers to follow. So we're just going to move that. And because we are currently talking about the Shaner boys, I want to highlight their mom, because this is the mom of the boys. So we want to put her in the same spot as her children so that they're together. Even though these clips were not originally together, we're going to bring them together so that it flows more easily and it's more consistent to what we're watching. Okay. All right, so now that we've got the talking about Elaine and Timmy Craig and their next door neighbors, now we're going to move over to talking about the fun times in the swimming pool. So now I got to go through to bring in the swimming pool portion of the video and make sure that it looks like we haven't touched it. That's the point of editing. Editing is like makeup. You want to put on enough that it covers up all the ugly bits, but you don't want to make it obvious that you're wearing makeup, unless I guess you are making it obvious. But for the most part, when you're editing family footage, you want your edits to be hard to trace. So blending in from moving the clips around from talking about the Shaners to now we're talking about fun times in the pool, we're going to reorganize these clips. So here we're talking about Madge, my client's mom, finding things for kids to do in the backyard. So we want to make sure we preserve that because that's an important piece of family history.
Madge was awfully good about letting the young people come to the house and swim and do other things.
Which is all basically what editing is. Editing is just highlighting the important parts of why the videos were filmed in the first place and preserving important information for future generations. That is what editing family videos is all about.
Mrs. Shaner. Madge was awfully good about letting the young people come to the house and swim and do other things. She would take the time to find things for them to do. Interesting for them. And feed them. They were always hungry. More fun in the pool. Boys loved to swim underwater. They could go several lengths of the pool underwater.
Okay, so once you've got all of your clips together, and one fun thing you can do, and this is something a lot of people don't mention, when you are cutting up voiceover audio, I'm going to show you another video how to edit the audio, so that sounds really good. But one trick that I have found that has been a huge lifesaver in my career is to save a section of the background noise. And what you do with that section of background noise is you use it to plug up the gaps when you are reorganizing voiceover audio. So that when the audio plays, you don't have these portions of silence going in between audio clips. So that is very important, is to make sure when you're dealing with voiceover or even just any other family videos, if there is a gap between the audio, all you have to do is just find a section of audio, no talking on it, copy that, and keep a copy of that on hand while you're editing, so you can just plug up any holes that moving the audio or clips around creates. That has helped me so much with editing podcasts and audiobooks. It's just keeping that little strip of audio on hand so I can just copy paste it, plug it into the hole, we're all good to go. Okay, so and then once you have your rough cut, it should look something like this, where it's kind of cut up, but now the video is more coherent and runs smoother, so that when people are watching it in the future, it's not quite as janky and all over the place and has a clear narrative that is following. So I hope you found this helpful, and in the next video, I'm going to show you how to edit the audio so that it's smooth and consistent.
This is behind our home, in the backyard of the home on Rosewood Court. Elaine danced and was pretty good at ballet before she grew tall and gained weight. That was a magnolia tree we left, and it dumped magnolia needles and blossoms into our swimming pool as long as we were there. She was a graceful little gal. More fun in the pool. Boys loved to swim underwater. They could go several lengths of the pool underwater. Timmy Craig on stilts. Behind our home. I don't recognize this little guy. Some friend. T. Craig. PhD in chemistry now. Oh, the little Shaner boy. The little Shaner boys from 2 doors down. Their father was a surgeon. They had come from Canada. And he had lost all his hair in the Canadian military in World War II. By reason, I think, of gas. Madge was awfully good about letting the young people come to the house and swim and do other things. Mrs. Shaner. She would take the time to find things for them to do and make it interesting for them and feed them. They were always hungry. One of the little Shaner boys. They're grown up now, no doubt. Ice cream bars, we always had them. The kids lined up and jumped. Dunk, dive, plunk, anything. I think that was Norman Kent Thurber. That's Aaron. On the right is Elaine. Don't know what this is. They used to use those for belly flop costumes, jumping into the pool so that they wouldn't sting so much. Yeah, there's a belly flop. Back in the swimming pool. That was Aaron. Oh, that was good recreation for the kids in their growing up years. That was Aaron. Chances are that was Timmy Craig. I think they're too dignified to do things like that now. That's Aaron. Told you didn't get full benefit of that swimming pool. You went away to school not too long after we installed it. There's Steve Thurber. Aaron's and Afton's son. Is that you? That was Tone, who just went off the deep end. There's Tone. Tone was always cold. No matter what the temperature, in or out of the water, he was always cold. That was Madge. She had a hard time submerging. That body of hers just didn't want to go down. This is behind our home, in the backyard of the home on Rosewood Court. Elaine Danston was pretty good at ballet before she grew tall and gained weight. She was a graceful little gal. That was a magnolia tree we left, and it dumped magnolia needles and blossoms into our swimming pool as long as we were there. I don't recognize this little guy. Some friend. Oh, Timmy Craig on stilts. Behind our home. PhD in chemistry now. Oh, the little Shaner boy. The little Shaner boys from 2 doors down. They had come from Canada. Their father was a surgeon, and he had lost all his hair in the Canadian military in World War II by reason, I think, of gas. Mrs. Shaner. Madge was awfully good about letting the young people come to the house and swim and do other things. She would take the time to find things for them to do and make it interesting for them and feed them. They were always hungry. More fun in the pool. Boys loved to swim underwater. They could go several lengths of the pool underwater. One of the little Shaner boys. They're growing up now, no doubt. Ice cream bars, we always had them. The kids lined up and jumped. Dump, dive, plunk, anything. I think that was Norman Kent Thurber. Hmm. That's Aaron. On the right is Elaine. Don't know what this is. They used to use those for belly flop costumes, jumping into the pool so that they wouldn't sting so much. Yeah, there's a belly flop. That was Aaron. Oh, that was good recreation for the kids in their growing up years. That was Aaron. Chances are that was Timmy Craig. I think they're too dignified to do things like that now. That's Aaron. didn't get full benefit of that swimming pool. You went away to school not too long after we installed it. There's Steve Thurber, Aaron's and Afton's son. Is that you? That was Tone, who just went off the deep end. There's Tone. Tone was always cold. No matter what the temperature, in or out of the water, he was always cold. That was Madge. She had a hard time submerging. That body of hers just didn't want to go down.